Hey guys, the Fire Brothers here. It's just me. My brother couldn't be here today because he's simping for Human Nightbird. I gotta admit, that's actually a pretty good drawing movie. I actually like it quite a bit. Anyways, these are the jokes. Transformers Rise of the Beast is getting closer and closer. I have a countdown now at the start of all my videos, counting down the days. And if you guys haven't noticed, last week there was a lot of news. I was pretty much uploading, semi-daily. So I kind of had to take a little break. But now that I'm back, it's time to talk about some theories. And today we're talking about the fact that Airazor will probably not transform in the movie. Now, but this is mostly a theory video. I do have some news. And a lot of these news are actually pretty exciting and very interesting. So before I talk about, my theory and the evidence behind it, I'm gonna talk about everything that has happened since my last video for Rise of the Beast, of course. So first off, it looks like the movie is still being worked on. Shocker, I know. We have reports that the movie is pretty much done, like that little screening that they had at CinemaCon a few days ago seemed to imply that. But recently, in the Greek version of the official trailer, we actually found out a new shot of Unicron. It's the same shot as we saw in the trailer, but the CGI is updated and the model is, of course, in a different pose. It's looking differently. It looks much better in the Greek version. And I already thought the regular version looked fine, but this looks incredible in all honesty. This Unicron looks menacing. It's very good in all honesty. I don't have much to say about this except that the movie's being updated as we speak. I hope they fix the whole jungle discovery scene and maybe they fix some of the CGI here and there, because a lot of it is not up to par with ILM, and there is some valid points to that, but at the same time I feel like we're all kind of interpreting this wrong, or at least we're using the wrong argument. I don't want to take too much away from this video, but the whole ILM versus NPC studio thing, the debacle has been very prevalent throughout the fan base in the last couple of weeks. In other news, very recently we had our full render of Optimus Prime in robot mode extracted from the Transformers AR website. And he looks phenomenal. This Optimus Primal here looks phenomenal. He has his battle mask. He looks fantastic. Honestly, I love the way he looks here. My biggest complaint is something that I said since day one. I wish he had more color. Like, some people have even made Bash renders of him with Beast Wars style colors, and while I feel like the blue and red might be a bit too much, I can still see this color scheme working on this model if it's applied to a little better. But overall, this looks pretty fantastic. In other news, and this was actually pretty exciting, director Steven Capo Jr. has shared on Instagram a video with him and Peter Coleman, where they say that recording is pretty much already completed, and it looks like Peter's actually pretty happy with the final product of the movie. Now, keep in mind that this is just talking about the voice acting progress. Like, I'm pretty sure they're still working on tweaking the CGI and fixing it. It wouldn't surprise me if they keep working on the movie till the final day of the release. Dark of the Moon is actually infamously known for being edited all the way down to the final day of its release. Michael Bay, the same day the movie was released, was still working on the movie. But it's genuinely nice to see them having fun and enjoying what they're doing. Honestly, I'm actually pretty happy for that, and if anything else, at least the movie's gonna have a lot of heart. I wholeheartedly believe that, no pun intended. I'm just worried about the execution, that's all. Also, thanks to Jolo Park's model kit, we actually have some very good close-up looks at Bumblebee, Optimus, and of course Primal. They all look phenomenal. Primal again continues to be such a really good representation of the original Beast Wars Optimus Primal. You guys already know my complaint that I wish he had more color in him, but he looks actually pretty good here. Like, the black is pretty in line with how he looked like in Beast Wars, so at least in stature form he looks very good. And to wrap it all off, the Transformers Twitter account is actually making a little contest, for people to download this Rise of the Beast AR app and take a photo or video of the Transformer in their own environment for a chance to win a trip for two to the Porsche Experience Center in Los Angeles. It's also running another little campaign. You can actually get Peter Cullen to read out one of your comments. Some people are already getting pretty creative with what they want the man himself to say. That's pretty cool, pretty funny in all honesty. So if you're interested in Optimus Prime actually reading one of your comments or saying something you might like him to say, you should just go and tweet it out here. People are already taking advantage of that. I know I said those last bit of news were the last bit of news, but we have more that just came out. So if you go to Fandango, you can actually set your alarm to get notified when the Rise of the Beast tickets come out, which apparently it's gonna be this Sunday. It says it opens this Sunday, so it looks like we're gonna be able to pre-order tickets this Sunday. I know people in the UK are already able to order the tickets, but here it looks like Sunday is the earliest you're gonna be able to. So I'm gonna put the link in the description for those of you guys who, you know, want a heads up, want to stay alert, want to, you know, get a notification as soon as they open, because guarantee that's gonna go out fast, really fast, especially if we're talking about the first 3 days. So as soon as it comes out, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna snatch 4 tickets, because I'm planning to invite my whole family to watch Rise of the Beast, which I never done that for any Transformers movies, but this movie feels special, so I kind of want to do it for this one. Hopefully they like it. And in other news, we have a massive Rise of the Beast cardboard cutouts available for purchase. If anyone is interested, you can pick up these 70 tall cardboard standees of the characters in the link below. And we have a nice image of some of them compared to, you know, regular people, so we can scale them. Some of these are new renders, like Scourge, just, you know, his full render, his full body look, and Mirage here with the, you know, arm cannon and his battle mask, which we have already seen Mirage in this pose, but like it's slightly modified. And a lot of these new standees are actually slightly modified. Bumblebee and Optimus here especially, while others like Optimus Primal and RC look pretty much the same, and Scourge and Mirage have minor modifications. I'll be honest, these are like around $50 each. I wouldn't get any of these, but if someone donates $50 to me on my stream tomorrow or on my Patreon right now, I promise you I'll use that money to buy the RC standee and have it like be visible when I stream on Friday, just for fun. I think that'll be really funny. I don't really want this though, but if, you know, if some of you guys wanna, I don't know, make fun of me, be like, oh, Var's a weeb, he buys his giant body pillow, or something like that, go right ahead. They're giving me money after all. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the news section. But now, it's time to talk about what the topic of this video actually is, and that is Airazor herself. So out of all the Maximal characters we saw, Airazor is probably the one that has been sort of hyped up the most for the marketing. You know, she's being voiced by Michelle Yeoh, we see her here and there, she's always present, and out of all the Maximals besides Primal, she's the only one who has spoken so far, because we do know that Rhinox and Cheetor unfortunately won't be talking much in this movie. Now, why do I think, and why do so many people think that Airazor won't transform? Well, ignoring, you know, potential leaks and spoilers and rumors here and there, because those are not always reliable, let's go over some of the evidence we have seen through, you know, the marketing and stuff. So first off, and I think that's the strongest piece of evidence, is the way her, you know, robot mode quote unquote looks like. So very recently we got a couple of GIFs, you know, showing all the Maximals in the robot modes turning into their beast modes and, you know, charging at the camera. We had Cheetor's robot mode, we got Rhinox's robot, and of course Primal's robot mode. But interestingly enough, Airazor was the only one missing. Studio Series is what, you know, the final look for the movie robots is gonna look like, you know, mainline Cheetor looks nothing like in the movie, but Studio Series Cheetor looks a lot like he does in the movie. So if any of these two versions is gonna be, you know, Airazor's definitive, you know, robot mode, it's definitely gonna be Studio Series. When you take a look at Studio Series Airazor, it's nothing special in all honesty. If it's just a retool of the Kingdom mold, and that's very weird, don't you think? While Optimus Primal, Cheetor, and Rhinox still do look pretty close to their Beast Wars counterparts, or, you know, Kingdom counterparts, which they pretty much look almost identical to Beast Wars, Airazor is the only one that looks one-to-one with the Kingdom version, bearing differences with color scheme and the face sculpt, of course. But if they could just reuse the Kingdom, you know, mold for this Studio Series version, then that means that the movie Airazor doesn't look that different, you know, supposedly in robot mode. It probably looks around the same, or alternatively, she doesn't have a robot mode. Because if she doesn't have a robot mode, then it's a whole lot simpler for the designers to just, you know, assign her a robot mode. This is actually the case with Shockwave. Shockwave didn't have a set vehicle mode in Dark of the Moon, so they were pretty much free to create their own, you know, vehicle mode for Shockwave in Studio Series. This applies even more to the Bumblebee movie Cybertron Autobot cast, because none of them ever transformed into the movie, and, you know, while we saw some vehicle parts here and there wasn't any Bumblebee movie concept art that told us straight up who transformed into what. It was only thanks to Studio Series, who, you know, gave every character a design. They designed it themselves, they even modified a few so their vehicle modes fit them better. And now we have RC turning into a motorcycle, Brawn transforming into a driller or whatever, and, you know, of course the way everyone else pretty much looks like, who we didn't see transform. So when vehicle modes and robot modes for certain characters doesn't exist, Studio Series usually just goes out of its way to assign them, create things for them. So, you know, The whole theory of Studio Series assigning Airazor this robot mode, which, they assign it to her because she doesn't have a robot mode in the movie, actually, holds up. It's pretty solid. Another very strong piece of evidence is that we haven't seen her robot mode, period. Now, I know that sounds weird and, it's like no duh fire, but at the same time, think about this. We've seen Cheetor in promotional material, we've seen Rhinox in promotional material, we see them on screen in the movie themselves. My guess is that when Rhinox shows up for Studio Series, he's also going to have his, robot mode control art. But Airazor, when she appears in it, she has her, beast mode control art. She doesn't have anything for a robot mode. Granted, you could say, yo, Fire, just controller, you're looking too much into it. Yeah, granted, fair enough, but isn't it kind of sus that the character who we think is not going to transform at all doesn't have her robot mode control art in his Studio Series packaging, but Cheetor does have his robot mode control art packaging. When Promo shows up, he's definitely going to have it, but Rhinox is still the unknown. If Rhinox has his robot mode control art in his Studio Series packaging and Airazor doesn't, and, Airazor turns out to be the only one of the Maximals to have a robot mode not part of Studio Series, then that, in my opinion, is more than enough confirmation to deduce that she won't transform in the movie. So, funny story, we just got Studio Series Rhinox leaked just as I was making this video. I think that is hilarious. We have him here. He looks pretty cool, in all honesty. This hasn't been found in a while. Apparently, this has been, this is like a prototype. You can actually see the serial code for it in the corner. This looks much better than the mainline one, at least when it comes to the Rhino beast mode. It looks pretty cool. The robot mode looks a bit off. I think it's just a pose. Honestly, I think it's just a pose. I think the Hasbro photography has either been a hit or a miss when it comes to Transformers figures in general. But he has like a Warhammer. I think that's such a great addition. Cheetor has like the spear, Rhinox has the Warhammer, Optimus Prime has the blade. Should have given robot mode Airazor a bow. That would have been amazing. Also, something else is that the background for it is the Peruvian jungle discovery scene, but it looks different, It doesn't look like the Cheetor packaging or the Airazor one. It looks like it happens at night, which apparently that's gonna be the first time we'll meet Rhinox, because when we do see him in the trailer, he's like in this nighttime scene. So my guess is that this is part of that scene again, the jungle discovery thing. He looks pretty cool. Aside from the questionable photo, I still need to see some in-hand images of him to, cast final judgment. But not bad. And unfortunately, we don't have a look at his raw mode to the side. Whoever took this picture didn't bother to also take it from the side, because they probably thought we were not going to be curious about that. But I'm 100% sure that the robot mode's at the side. Much like Cheetor's robot mode, I think Rhinox just has the robot mode there. And the reason why I say this is because we've already seen it. I already shared that image from YOLO Park. So it definitely exists. It's there. All they need to do is place it in the box. So, RIP Airazor. Something that I do see being thrown around here and there to, work against this theory or debunk this is that she's being voiced by Michelle Yeoh. And we even see her talking to trailers, so she's clearly a very important character. And yeah, she is important, but that doesn't exactly mean she's gonna transform. Even then, I feel like they might use Michelle Yeoh as a way to, carry the character so fans and people don't complain about her not transforming. Like, it would be like Cliffjumper from Transformers Prime, Semi-beloved character who gets killed pretty early on, spoilers, oops. But is voiced by a very, popular and charismatic actor, I guess The Rock. I don't know if people still feel that way about him after Black Adam, but whatever. So it's like, although his appearance was short, he had a pretty decent fight scene, and of course he was being voiced by a big actor. So I could totally see the same scenario happening here, and if that's the case, then I honestly believe that Airazor is gonna be the Maximal that bites the dust. And I don't want to make this a whole dead prediction video. I'll probably do that next for funsies. But Airazor is the character that I have no doubt is gonna die in this movie. If she doesn't transform, even more reason to kill her off. Actually, that might be why she doesn't transform in the movie. Of course, the Maximals are pretty much more effective in their beast modes. So, wouldn't it be a pretty good excuse to have her not transform? Be like, she fights in her beast mode and then gets killed on her beast mode, basically not allowing her to transform. Maybe she does try to transform, but it's like a partial transformation. Think of it like Bumblebee from the last night. And the trailers don't seem to indicate that she transforms at all. She's the only character who the trailers gonna leave out in terms of transformations. The design for the toys is the only one that's recycled from another toy. and she's the only Rise of the Beast figure that does not have a robot art on the packaging. But then you guys might be asking, but Fire, why would they make a toy out of her in robot mode if she doesn't transform in the movie? Well, why did they make a vehicle mode for Shockwave if he doesn't transform in the movie? Why did they give the Bumblebee movie, you know, Autobots vehicle mode if they don't transform in the movie? The thing is that they need to sell toys, and a robot eagle is not gonna sell as well as a robot eagle that can transform. And the Kingdom mode already exists, so all they need to do is just modify it a little, change some things here and there. The engineering is already done, so that's half the work. You're now waiting to color it a bit, to coincide more with the movie and change some things here and there, and bam, Airazor now has a robot mode, and we can sell that to all the kids and all the collectors who wanna get one. It's that simple. And honestly, if that's true, that would be very disappointing, because like look, Airazor has never been my favorite character for Beast Wars. I mean, I liked her, you know, I'm not saying I hated her. Her romance with Tigertron was interesting, and it's disappointing when you see a Transformers character and they don't do anything in the movie. Like, look, as much as I don't really mind Cliffjumper dying, I'll admit it's a huge disappointment that he never had that one, you know, glory scene of him in the movies. You know, depicted him fighting and, you know, being alongside the other characters and transforming. It's always disappointing when that happens. And considering that this movie is called Rise of the Beast, and there's only 4 Maximals, I at least expect all of our Maximals to transform. And while it's really tempting to blame NPC Studios, turn to this showcase that the amount of CGI they're doing for this movie is insane. I don't exactly blame them. I mean, they're doing Unicron, they're doing the Terragon army, and for all of our characters, they also need to make, you know, transformation sequences for them. That's extra, you know, amount of layering and CGI work that needs to go into each and every one of them. So I don't exactly blame them for this. I completely understand. They're doing quantity over quality, and my guess is that they just don't have enough time to, you know, give Airazor a robot mode for a small scene in the movie, and then, you know, work on all the different, you know, characters that are gonna be in the movie, the backgrounds, the CGI scenery, stuff like that. It's just too much, and I don't exactly blame. If anything, I feel sympathy for them. I'm like, oh man, that's a lot. You're really suffering in there. You know, like I kind of pity them more than anything. I'm not exactly mad at them for once. The control art, the gifts, and the Studio Series box art are the 3 things that, in my opinion, kind of put the nail in the coffin for Airazor. Is there a chance that she transforms in the movie? Yeah, I mean, there's still a chance. They have a month to work on the movie, and apparently they're working kind of fast, since they're updating a little stuff behind the scenes. At the same time, how much can you get done in 1 month? The movie's literally like less than 40 days away. But yeah, I think Airazor is gonna be one of those casualties of the movie, you know, literally, and of course, when it comes to transformation representation, as a word I never thought I would say, which kinda sucks, cause I mean, even Transit has the robot mode, and Transit's only gonna be in it for a few minutes if he really is in it. Even back in the Bay Era, characters with much minor roles, like Sideways, on the Suicide Cons, and so on, have robot modes and vehicle modes. And the fact that Airazor doesn't transform, it's kinda sad. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about this theory. Do you guys think that Airazor will transform in the movie, or do you think that people are overthinking things? And you know, granted, we usually tend to overthink things, I'll admit, but that's kind of the fun of theorizing, especially for a Transformers movie. Honestly, I'm gonna say it right now, and I usually have a really good track record of getting these things right, and you know, bragging about it. I mean, I got most of Trailer 2 right, actually. Look at this bingo card I made. I say I have a pretty good track record. Well, I'm not happy that this is the case. I do think that Airazor will not transform in the movie. I'm calling it now, and when it does happen in the movie, I'll be proven right once again, and I'll be playing this clip.
I am Nostradamus, the voice of God.
But if you guys have any counter arguments, or you know, maybe you guys agree with me, have stronger pieces of evidence, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it, and I'd love to you know, talk with some of you guys about your own theories. So yeah, anyways guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you all enjoy. So always don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all the annoying YouTuber stuff that the algorithm likes. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys. Anyways, guys, before we go, shout out to our super high IQ patrons: Predator King Hunter Plays, Scrub Lordo, Omega Tryon 2006, Stitch Productions, Xavier the God, Anders Gears, finally he changed his name, Optination Review, James Newbold, DJ Universe, Tristan Curry, Still Allspark Studio, Super Sailor Formers Hedgehog, Cuber Knight Gaming, and oh my god, Rich Cracker 64 Studios Productions, Crazy Treks, and King Sparta. And shout out to our super cool new Patreon, Legend of Swoop. And an even bigger shout out to our even bigger Patreons, Jordan the Great and X23, who donated a amount of money. I'll leave you guys to figure out how much. And if you guys want to shout out yourselves, all you gotta do is donate to my Patreon. By donating to my Patreon, you get quite a few rewards. You get access to some exclusive artwork that I'm working on, catch some early access at some betas that are not public yet, request your own videos, or even do collabs with me. In some cases, you can even request some artwork if I'm not busy enough. I'm constantly updating the Patreon with content that I haven't made public yet, so if you want more awesome content like Wasted Potential, Power Level series, Kill Count series, that kind of stuff, Patreon is the best place to catch a glimpse at my work. But keep in mind that it is entirely optional, because freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Thank you to all my patrons for donating, it's much appreciated. All of them had channels of their own, Twitter accounts, Discord pages. Make sure to go check out their links and give them some support. They can use all the help they can get. Thank you guys for donating, it's much appreciated. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys.